Hello all. Now we'll continue with our session on selection process. In our last classes we discussed different ways the companies they go for the selection procedure, be it a preliminary interview, then application blank form, then a technical aptitude test, then technical test. So there are different ways, and every company it has its own procedure by which it goes for the selection process is basically an elimination process, because out of the whole lot we try to eliminate the resume. Okay, now today we'll be doing the interview. This we have already done. Okay, the interview. Selection interview. Interview is an oral examination of candidates for employment. In this step, the interviewer matches the information obtained about the candidate through various means. As we had discussed in our previous class also, that the companies they have different ways. Like few companies they can go for general group discussion, few companies can go for technical test, few companies can go for HR interview. There can be n number of ways, but no company will employ you without having a face-to-face interaction, because they want to see your personality. What kind of personality are you carrying? It should not be just just few words written on a page of paper, which would suffice for your selection. They want to understand you. They want to see how you present yourself, and therefore personal interview is a very important part. Okay, and you cannot escape it. Then there are several types of interviews, and there are different interviews that are carried out, and it depends upon the objective of the organization and the objective of the panel also, what actually they are trying to see. Structured interview, one of these are the few kinds of different interviews. Structured interview, in this type of interview a list of questions is asked to the interviewer, is prepared in advance on the basis of the analysis of job satisfaction. See what happens, like the job profile is the focal job profile is selected, then they have proper description and job specification done, and then the interviewers they specifically know that okay, we are looking for candidates who know who possess these qualities. Okay, they have structured, they have just question prepared in advance, and then they conduct the interview. It is not just the flow of the interview that happens. Okay, sometimes that will do later on, but structured interview has specific questions being prepared by the interviewer in advance, because it is the only thing that they are looking for. Understood? So that becomes a structured interview. Long back in the year when we entered 2000, after 1999, when we entered 2000, the computers all over the world they faced a problem of Y2K. Year 2000 problem, it was considered as Y2K problem, and there was a huge demand of computer professionals at that time. Whoever was doing computers, he got a job, and people who were not computer professionals, they also got a job in the computers, in the IT sector. Means imagine in those times it used to happen like students doing mechanical engineering for 4 years, and then they are taken by TCS, and now they are working in the software industry. Okay, so in those times the company they actually try to understand your aptitude level, whatever you know about you. Definitely if you're not from CS background you won't be knowing anything about CS, but they just wanted to understand whether if we teach you, will you be able to grasp it, understand it, and if yes, then okay, come and join our organization, we'll train you, don't bother. Okay, so structured interview they actually have specific questions just focused on specific qualities they're looking for, and then the interview is conducted. Unstructured interview, what happens, as the name suggests, it actually starts and it actually it is carried out in a different fashion, in a normal flow, you can say. Okay, like now we may say it starts with introduction of the candidate, and then from the introduction only the questions they come up. Okay, so that is an unstructured interview. Okay, then there is panel interview. Panel interview is when there are lot many people sitting in the interview board. Okay, and why are they called panel? Because everybody has a different set of quality, and everybody is responsible for different kind of job. Like in UPSC interviews they have panel interviews. Okay, so there is a panel of interviewer. One is an subject expert, one is economist, one is excellent in current affairs. There is one psychologist who is also sitting there, who is just observing what kind of how the candidate is giving answers, and what kind of stress is he having, his body language, everything is being observed. So that is a panel interview, where every interviewer has different set of qualities and they are looking for different qualities, different qualities in the candidate. Then there is stress interview. Stress interview is what, as the name suggests, stress interview. They just want to understand what kind of reaction you would be having if you are subjected to any stressful condition. And well, whether you'll be very poised, or you'll be very jittery, or you'll be very nervous, or you can just face the situation with a bang on. So this is what they actually are trying to understand. So what kind of job profile requires this kind of stress interview, where you have lot of adverse conditions. Okay, and then you have to work in very unfriendly, adverse, difficult situation, and then you have to just keep your poise and your balance, and then you have to work. So this is what they are trying to say. Okay, so these are the different interviews where this is not exhaustive, there are many other also, but majorly these kind of interviews are there. So we they are different because the objective of conducting interview is very different. Okay, yeah, then there is interview process. First is there is preparation, then there is reception. Okay, preparation is how preparation is done. Means interview, effective interviews, they just do not happen when it is well planned in advance, and then the objectives are set for the interview, then the application is reviewed, and then key points are highlighted. Okay, then the test scores and everything is ready, and when the candidate comes for the interview, like his whole personality on paper is already scanned by the interviewer. It is now just your non-verbal communication, your verbal communication, you have to impress them. Okay, then reception, the candidate should be properly received. He should have prior information about the conduction of interview, and whether selection or rejection, but he should go with a smiling face. Okay, so that should be the process of interview. Okay, so that's all for today. So we have understood the interview process. Okay, thank you so much.